TSF Entertainment.
Welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. Special CG in the building tonight, joined by DJ Fresh Your Highness. What's good, bro?
Hear me, right?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was looking. I was like, I ain't see the levels moving. I was like, oh, they doing this again tonight.
All right, and we are in the building tonight to talk about Power Book 3, Raq and Kanan, Season 4, Episode 403, Bygones. All right, so what did you think about the episode? Can't hear you, bro.
I want to be like 6.5, 7.
What?
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I guess because I think like I know what they're doing, but I feel like on the third it should be a little bit more build up. However, the one thing that once we keep talking about the episode and we get to a certain scene, is it was one thing that I noticed that tied into like this entire episode from like each character. They all had like literally the same thing. Like I'm trying to think of the word to describe it, but it was like their stories for each character all came together like as one thing. They all had the same thing in common.
Okay. All right. So looking at some of the comments in the chat, let's see. DeMarcus says it was a solid 8. Cub Star 6.5. Support game is 7.5. Am I the only one that rated the episode? Huh? I thought it was a very good episode. It was. It's a lot to talk about in here. Yeah. I got a lot of notes. There's a lot to talk about here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump on into this thing and see what it is that you liked about the episode and what you guys didn't like about the episode. 6.5. Come on, Cub Star. You usually be there with us, yo. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right, so the episode description of the episode, it is boy, what's going on with my computer? Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. As Raq and Marvin face the aftermath of Unique's violent clandestine comeback, Blue manages his new artist. Kanan gets through to his grandmother, and Jukebox embraces her sexuality. The episode was written by Michael M. Chang and directed by Crystal Roberson. All right, so we're gonna see what's going on in this episode this week. It starts off with Richard and Sonny. I wrote their names down because we like to be politically correct over here with names. Yeah. Richard and Sonny, which you know that's not really their names, but right. Richard and Sonny are taking the trash out, and Sonny is complaining because she's like, "You should have fired your nephew." Yeah. Richard was like, he was stealing from them. We have no choice.
I didn't have a choice.
We have no choice. We had to fire him. And who pulls up on them? Then Ronnie Unique pulls up on them, and Sonny's like, he's not supposed to be here. He's deleted. Apparently not. Unique like, yeah, y'all forgot all about me real quick, didn't y'all? And then, of course, he at weapon point leads them back into the restaurant, at which time he throws a duffel bag at them and demands that they fill up the duffel bag and unload the safe, and they get Raq's work and money. And Sonny thought that was going to be it. That's all. Sonny was like, okay, you've got everything now. You can go. You know, and he was like, I ain't got everything yet. I ain't done yet. And then he makes this weird comment about Raq. His obsession with Raq is just a little bit weird because he asked him, like, what does Raq taste like? Soy sauce, duck sauce?
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, what? I was like, bro,
really hard with Raq. He proceeds to delete them both, and they expire in such a poetic way where they just kind of fall into each other, looking at each other as they take their last breath, like, I'll see you in the afterlife, Sonny. I'll see you in the afterlife, Richard. How poetic. But yeah, Unique he on one.
Yeah, he wilding.
But I mean, that wasn't nothing that we didn't expect. We talked about that. We knew that was going to happen. He was going to rob them and then delete them. So we're over at Marvin's place, and Jukebox eating like Marvin. Marvin said, "You ain't
Bruh.
stopped eating since you been back home, girl."
I was like, bro, they eating good.
Yeah, let me get a plate. Y'all still got
Yeah.
some left. Let
That
me get
food
a
look
plate.
good. I was like, oh, they eating bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, unique duck sauce or soy sauce. I'm like, what's going on, yo? His obsession with rock. So Marvin's sitting there, Jukebox was telling him about how horrible the food was in the military and how he would never make it. And Marvin was like, what you gonna do? Cause these folks they finna pull up in a minute now.
Yep.
Like, what you want me to tell these folks when they get here? And she's like, don't worry about it, I got it. I was like, okay. Jukebox owning up to her own decisions. Like, she didn't put that on Marvin to deal with. She's like, I got myself into this, I'm gonna get myself out. So she's like, yeah, I'll talk to him. Marvin like, you sure? Because they
Right.
just all stuff kind of serious now.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I got it. I'm good. I'm good.
Then knock knock.
And knock comes. And it is Sergeant Haley and Hulk that show up, and they're like, Private Thomas. And she was like, yo, what's up? And Jukebox proceeded to sit there and listen at them. They kind of berate her for a little bit about how they take AWOL serious and how she is running out on her country and her obligations that she signed up for. And, she listened to what they had to say. And then she was like, well, I tried it. It wasn't a good fit for me. So I decided to move on. And they was like, well, it don't happen like that. And she was like, well,
I'm gay.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and get that entry level separation.
Yeah.
Get the entry level separation because I'm gay now. Put that in your paperwork.
Yeah.
And they whispered to each other real quick, and they were like, all right, we'll give you the entry level separation. However, I hope you're not proud of what you're doing because you're letting your country down. And she's like, let my country down. Marvin like, she ain't hurt nobody. She ain't done nothing wrong. Like, let her be. And she was like, let my country down. She was like, my country don't let me and mine down plenty of time. And Marvin co-signed. It's on my word.
Yeah. Yeah. When he did that, I was like, and Marvin was hypey as I don't know what. I was like, but I was like, yo, that's smart. I was like, when she saw the dude on the last episode get kicked out, she knew right then and there, yo, this is my ticket out of how to get out of this whole situation of getting out of the army.
And she got out.
She got out.
So later on, we see her in her room going through her things, and she gets rid of her military uniform as well as she comes across her jersey that she wore in her performance with butter, and she gets rid of it as well. Like, in other words, this is a signal to us that this part of her life, this chapter of her life is gone. You wrong for that cup star. Don't do Jukebox. Don't do hashtag get a job, Jukebox. Cup star, don't do Jukebox. You know we love Jukebox over here.
You know what? This is I didn't pay no attention. You know what, Deborah? You're right. We never did get to see Jukebox graduate.
I guess we are left to assume that because she was going into the military that she had already graduated.
Yeah.
That's
right, because she is older than Kanan. So okay.
Yeah. All right, so she was like, enough with all that. And the scene switches to Kanan going to drop some medication off for his grandmother. Grandma's hands is tired.
Yeah.
Grandma tired. Grandma sitting in her chair and she's just trying to take a little rest in. And Kanan comes in all optimistic about the pills that he just gave her and tells her that, oh yeah, the pills are going to make you better. And she looking at him like, fool. No, did you not hear what the doctor said? The doctor said that all I can do at this point is, prepare myself.
Yep.
Like, nothing is going to cure it. All we're doing right now is preparing myself. And then she goes on to tell him that, your grandmother's a bad, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Kanan started to sit here and get in his head a little bit. Kanan get in his head a little bit at the ideal of his grandmother expiring. And, he's kind of feeling like, yo, we need to let the family know what's going on. We need to get the family here and we need to let the family know what's happening. And Grandma says that, Miss Joyce says that, look, if the family was worried about me, they'll come around more often. And I'm thinking to myself, the only reason why Kanan coming around is because he had to do that book report. He wasn't coming around either.
He wasn't coming around either. Now that he found out you're sick.
That's why he coming around.
He's
like
around.
The them, they will come around when they find out too. Like,
this scene right here was rough for me just because of personal stuff. But she made it when she said that. That's when I was like, okay. So the scene started to get better for me. And then I also like how she corrected Kanan and was like, yo, at the end of the day, that's still your mother. Like, you need to respect her. And that kind of shocked me because I was like, yo, I wasn't expecting to hear that from her.
From
like,
her, yeah.
Yeah, to say that, like, yo, at the end of the day, like, I know y'all at odds, but that's still your mom. You still need respect. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, she might not mess with Raq, but she like, yo, mind your eldest. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling that right there.
Yeah, because Kanan thought he was getting ready to sit there and talk ish about his mama to her. And she corrected him real quick. She was like, whatever she's done or hasn't done, that is still your mother.
Yep.
And you show her some respect. And, you know, it's still not processing with Kanan that, you know, family ain't always perfect. And family life ain't always perfect. So, you know, Miss Joyce was trying to prepare him for that, you know, even after I'm going on, you need to make peace with your mama.
Yeah.
Exactly, Xavier. Joyce acts like the phone doesn't work both ways, right? Because the only time she called for them is when she wants some money.
She wants some money.
Yeah, she wants some money.
That's true too, sport gaming. Like, just come out of nowhere. So,
yeah. Man, Lou, if you don't get this squatter up out of your place, Lou come out the room, right? He slammed the door. Thinking that would get him up. That didn't work. He opened up the curtain, let some sunlight in. That ain't work. He got this big stinking ass, sorry ass, be real laid up on the couch, sleep in the middle of the day. It looked like it might be a good old 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I was about to say the same thing. Like, at least noon.
At least noon. That good daylight. And this man got his whole living room looking like a trash can. Lou just cleaned up his place.
Bro, I said that when I saw it. I said, bro, Lou just cleaned this joint up and now it's back with cans and Chinese food again. Like, he just cleaned the spot up and it's back right back to it.
So he like, why are you still here? And he's like, you know, his cousin that he was supposed to be crashing with is got a house full. He dated a new chick that got 3 kids. Ain't no room for him over here. And Lou like, ain't no room for you over here either. He's like, I'm not in the market for a new roommate. I'm like, bro, get in the studio. Get a job.
That's exactly where you should have been. Right after you was performed at Cafe Vu, you like, bro, just got you out of jail. I'd have been like, man, bump that. I'm about to be locked in. Like, I could still be in jail right now. He looked out, got me out, man.
He need to be taking that job over that Famous had at Cafe Vu. You know, he was a little bar help. He washing dishes and shit, cleaning tables. That way he need to be at. He need to be everywhere else but laid up on Lou's couch right now. And I told y'all from the beginning, I said, I ain't feeling this be real fella.
Yeah, this episode, I definitely, and it's a certain scene when we get to it.
Where them vibes, right here, sorry as hell, y'all. All he looking for is a handout.
Yeah.
Lou like, listen, get your life, get some clothes on. We finna go see Lowell.
Yeah,
we can go see Lowell and see about we can get you some money or something to get you up out of here because you ain't finna be staying here. So we finally figured out what Marvin was looking at in this scene. Marvin pulls up to the Golden Pavilion, the Chinese restaurant. You know, he out making his rounds, you know, checking on the work. And he see all the police tape and all the police officers out, so he know this ain't nothing good. And then one of the officers catch his eye, look and walk over to him and it's like, yo, can I help you? And he was like, oh yeah, I just pulled up from a number 37 because you know that's the meal he loves to order when he goes to the restaurant. And then they didn't tell him on camera, but off camera we're left to assume they told him about the double homicide at the Golden Pavilion. So he hurried up and skirt on over to Raq's place.
My only question about that is though, who found them? Like, who would have called it in? Because Unique used a silencer, so it's like we know it wasn't a nephew,
and they were in the back of the restaurant.
They was in the back. That was the only confusion. I thought at some point we was gonna see like, yo, somebody called it in, but they never showed it unless it was Unique himself that called it in. I was just confused by that part.
You ain't lying about that, Cub Star. Lou should have left his ass right where he found him at MCC, wherever he was at. That what he did. And then that take me back to the scene where he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm here for armed robbery, but I ain't do it." Yes, you did. Whatever they said you did that shit.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like he did that.
Yeah, you did that. You did it.
You did that. I'm starting to feel that for sure. Like, yeah, bro, you was in there for the right reason.
Yeah, Xavier. Maybe they had some other workers at the restaurant that we just hadn't met yet or saw. Yeah, he was in jail for robbery. He was definitely in jail for robbery, and I believe he did that.
Dexter, this was the 90s. They ain't had cameras like that back then, like how they do
if
now.
they did, they had closed circuit TV.
Yeah. Most of the Chinese restaurants back then, they had the bulletproof glass, but it was rare that you walked into a joint in the hood that had a camera. Like, it was super rare back then.
Raq was like, listen, you need to get out here and get in these streets and find out who did this. And then Marvin was like, I think I might know. He was like, Sonny and Richard had a nephew that, I had to put up out of there because, he was stealing some work. And she was like, well, be sure before you put him down or whatever. So, she sent Marvin out to do what he do. And right before he get ready to go, right before he get ready to ease on out the kitchen, she's like, oh, by the way, my peoples tell me that they seen you coming out of Stefano place. What's up with that?
Bro was shook.
Yeah, had the I'm finna tell a lie look on his face. And I think to myself, you should have just, if you didn't want to tell her what was up, you should have just simply said, yeah, Stefano hit me up about a little side job or whatever. He had a little project he wanted me to take care of. Like, you just gonna lie to her face and know how she feel about y'all keeping stuff from her, especially when y'all create problems that she got to go clean up and you're not keeping her in the loop of what's happening. I was like, bad move, Marvin. Bad move. I understand that you didn't want to hear her mouth. I get that part. I do. But at the same time, like, you out here doing work for Stefano on behalf of Stefano. And I think that Stefano's intentions, I still go back to Stefano's intentions. I think Stefano is taking advantage of you and not with good intentions, but bad intentions. And Raq would probably put some food sense in your head, like, don't take your ass back over there no more dealing with them Italians. No volume, bro. No volume.
Still can't.
There you go. Nope.
Technical issues.
There you go.
I don't know what's going on. I see the levels moving.
It's crazy because every time you start talking, yo, that's crazy, right? Maybe you got to shorten your mic cable. But yeah, it's like Raq should have. I mean, Raq knew he was lying, though. I mean, she knew, even without him saying anything, she knew that he was getting ready to lie or done total lie, and that's exactly what he did. Try now, Fresh.
Yeah, I still see the levels. I don't know what the hell going on, man.
I hear you now.
I forgot what. At first, what I was saying was I didn't understand why he was lying, but then I thought about it like, yo, I know why he's lying, because for one, he's scared the hell of Raq. Like, Raq gonna take him out, but two, she gonna jump on him because she's been telling him since season 1, I always gotta clean up your mess, and he knew then, like, Raq was gonna jump all over him. Like, I just cleaned up a mess of yours not too long ago, and now you out here doing this side job, and I got to do it again.
I couldn't agree even more. And same thing with what you just said. I couldn't even agree more. Most of the problems in this show can be resolved with better communication. Exactly, Dexter. Because that's exactly what it is. It's broken communication. And like, yeah, Raq knew he lying, but she can't be bothered with that right now. Yeah. She got too many other problems that she's trying to figure out right now. But she knows he lying. And I felt like if she didn't have all this other stuff going on, she would have spent a little bit more time with that. But right now, she's trying to find out who don't hit her spot. And she did tell Marvin to go put some extra security on the other restaurants. So I'm wondering, does Unique even know about the other restaurants? Obviously, he knows about the Golden Pavilion because that's where he set up shop at. But remember, she expanded that opportunity into other restaurants. So he may or may not know that she's trapping out of the other restaurants as well.
Right, Support Gaming and Cub Star. Yeah, they got beef with me and it's microphone sabotage.
Microphone sabotage.
What's going on?
Microphone sabotage.
Right.
1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2. YouTube got beef with me. Support Gaming. I don't know what I did.
Here's the most popular scene from last year that we got the picture from last year where Unique
Of the
was
leak.
coming out of Katie's building and Crystal with her mouth. Crystal, you better learn how to put a muzzle on that mouth of yours, girl. You better learn how to put a muzzle on that mouth. Cause Ronnie Unique looked at her like she's like, excuse you would have been nice. I'm like, all right. Looking at
I
him
like,
off.
I like when he turned around. She was scared to death.
He turned around real quick. What you say? She read it there real quick. I'm
Ran
like,
it
all right.
fast.
Real fast. Because Ronnie Unique was getting ready to delete her right there on them steps.
So when we get to this next slide, I got a question after you go through it.
Let's take just a moment. I'm sorry, but I do not like where they're going with Unique's character. I just it's not entertaining. It's just they're trying too hard to make him like Ronnie. It's not his character. All of the elements about the Unique character that made him popular, they've just swept it under the rug. Now, maybe he'll get some of that back as the season progresses, but as it is right now, I mean, he's walking around in broad daylight with black Air Force Ones on and a hoodie and just terrorizing everyone. I mean, this is just a rinse and repeat of Ronnie. Yeah. Oh, so he got black Air Force Ones on right here?
Nah, I didn't even think about it till you said that. So he definitely do. He definitely do for sure. Definitely got on black Air Force Ones. That's
so you do have to do good.
But you're right though. I agree with that 100%. It's like I get it. Like they want to show like he ain't right in the head, but I'm like, bro, you literally like he basically like Ronnie. Just like remember he was the one that was thinking logical. Where Ronnie wasn't, and now it's just like, bro, he just, like
unhinged. And you're right, they even got him looking bummy. Yeah. So maybe we'll get I guess it's supposed to send us a message that the Unique we know no longer exists.
Yeah.
You know, he expired in the ravine. I guess this new version of him is not what to be expected.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right, Dexter. Yep. Oh, Crystal come in here talking about she's scared. She's seen a scary man with scars on her face, and she do give Kanan some good advice. She is right with what she's saying.
Yep.
She's saying, like, bro, it's not smart for you to be working where you live. Like, we need to go look for another apartment. And he like, I ain't trying to spend no more money. And then she proceeds to tell him, because he was like, well, you could just go home. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, oh, well, I can't go home because my mom's boyfriend got dick filling hands. I don't believe her.
And then the way Kanan told me, well, I go talk. I was like, Kanan, you get your ass beat, bro.
I don't believe her. I don't believe that mother's boyfriend got no dick filling hands for her. Could be or could not be. But why wait now to say that? As many times you've been up over there, much time you've been up in his face. Even if if she would have mentioned it in when she was with the girls with Butter or whatever, that she had problems at home. We've had no other indication that she got no problems at home. I think that she put that on Kanan for Kanan to say, yeah, you can stay here because she liked being over there in his business. She's another Tasha. She want to be around the drug business. She want to be in the know of everything or whatever. And, you know, she don't want to go home. So she's creating herself a purpose and a place here. So I feel like that was just a little sad story that she threw on Kanan for Kanan to say, yeah, I'll stay. Because the minute he availed himself to say, well, I'll go have a conversation with him. No, you don't have to. Yeah, because it ain't true.
Yeah.
That man ain't bothering her. So she suggested they go look for apartments or whatever. And Kanan reluctantly gives in. Of course he would. And he's falling for a hook, line, and sinker or whatever, because like I say, she's always, every scene that she's in where she's over there to that apartment, she makes some type of comment about his drug business.
Yep.
She is too involved in his drug business. And so this ain't right now doing nothing more but just solidifying her place. She's marking her territory.
Okay, so here's the question I have for that scene that still boggles my mind. So if she's coming in, at first I thought Kanan wasn't home. But then when I sat there and watched it more, I'm like, wait a minute. She was bringing home Chinese food. And that's what they were eating. That's what was on the table while he's counting the money. So I'm like, yo, if Unique was there, where was he at inside of the building, and why he didn't try to run up in the spot, unless he just doing investigation work or something.
Maybe he was casing the place, trying to see, you know, what apartment it is, who going in and out of it. You know, maybe he was just casing the place.
Because that was the part that got me. I was sitting there and I was just like, at first I thought Kanan wasn't home, and then when I sat there, I was like, yo, wait a minute. I was like, yo, they eating Chinese food. That's the same bag she had when she walked through the door. That's the exact same outfit. So I'm like, yo, why he ain't run up in the joint, especially when we get to the OC scene. And I was like, and then it clicked. I was like, okay, maybe he just casing the joint. But that was the question I had for that scene. Like, why you ain't doing it?
Because he knew exactly what apartment OC was going in, and when he ran up on him. So that's what I was thinking. He was just doing his little recon. Right, Dexter, another half smart chicken head. Right. Raq go over here to talk to Uncle Irvin.
Yeah.
Uncle Irvin. And Uncle Irvin told her, like, listen.
Wrong. I think it's wrong. Yeah.
This ain't working. This is my family.
Yep.
They have been deleted. This is dangerous. You go somewhere else to do your work. And she was like, are you married? He was like, yeah, I'm married. 41 years. I'm married. She's like, well, you married to me too. And you married to the game. In other words, you know too much, you don't sing too much, you ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
And she was basically like telling him that listen, this is a one-off situation, probably some kids that ran up in here, and she was like, with where your restaurants are located at, you can't say that something like this hasn't happened before. And he was like, this is too violent, this is too dangerous, or whatever. And Raq was like, nah, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Me and you
you know too much.
are in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
Right.
We in this. So if you running out, that means, you know, I gotta put you down.
Coming through with a $3 super sticker. Thank you, DeMarcus.
Appreciate it, Marcus.
But as Raq always tell them over and over again, Raq says she's tired of these folks trying her. Like, Raq tell her, you ain't going nowhere. It ain't nowhere for you to go. Man, look. Ludon took this sorry ass dude over here to Lowe's place and told Lowe that, listen, I need you to do something because he can't be laid up on my couch. And I'm thinking to myself, which one of you are going to tell him to go get in Studio B?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't come out till you have a hit record.
Exactly.
Because we got to recoup what we don't put into you, because we learned in this scene right here that the man even paid for him to get out of jail and done helped him with legal issues in the past. And he's like, really, I ain't really got nothing out of you but a hard way to go. Like, you ain't doing it but giving me problems over and over again. This sorry ass dude is laid up in the chair, all disrespectful.
Talking about his money.
Talking about his money. And the dude is so arrogant. He is ungrateful. He is just a regular degenerate. And the dude was like, you know, he started talking shit to him too. He was like talking shit to Lowell and whatever. It was like, I need some money. He was like, man, you ain't gave me back what I don't put into you. Yeah. And so, you know, he makes a derogatory remark towards Lowell about his heritage and him being Jewish. And Lowell was like, man, I'm tired of you talking to me like that, you know. And he goes on and proceeds to tell him about, you know, how hard his family has had it since he came to the States, and you know, how they couldn't get jobs anywhere else, so they had to create the entertainment business because the only thing that was left for them to do. And that how even the banks wouldn't even work with them, and it forced them to have to keep their money in their home in a mattress. And he's like, and I'm ashamed to say that this is a practice I still do today. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, bro. You just signed yourself a ticket for armed robbery. You're going to be a victim of armed robbery and deletion, because B-Rilla is going to click in his head at some point that you got money, and he's going to go rob you, and it's going to be a robbery going bad, and you're going to be deleted. Yep. Am I the only one that feels that way?
Nope. Because I said the exact same thing. And like Cubs, I said she fast forwarded. That's the only thing she learned is he gonna rob.
Yeah. He gonna rob her.
He gonna rob her.
And this scene right here, it also clicked with me. I had said it for a joke, but this was the real reality in it, that he probably did do that armed robbery that he was locked up for. He did that shit. Yeah. It's like Kanan said about Ghost. Whatever they say he did, he did that
whatever
shit.
They say he did that shit. Yeah. Immediately, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, bruh did something." Because I was like, he too cocky. And then, like you said, also when I was shocked to hear that he was the Lord was the one that put up the money to get him out. Because I was like, he literally told Lou like, "Nah, he in jail." Like, so I was like, all this time he could have been got him out. So I was just thinking like, yo, what did Lou say to him to get him out? Because all this time I thought it was Andre that did something.
Well, it was. I mean, he still had to post the bail for him.
Yeah, but
Andre was able to get him the bail and to get him released, but Lou financed the money for him to be. Lou ain't got no goddamn money to put up.
See, that's what I thought. I thought it was always like Andre or Luell. I thought it was Andre. Like he put up the bail and just like what he told Raq the last episode and was like, I helped you, your brother, get dude out of jail. I thought he was like, yo, I'm gonna just charge that on the books, like the bail that I put up for him to get out of jail. So when he said this, I was like, well, I was confused because I was just like, you just told Lou you ain't want nothing to do with him. He could stay in jail. And now that all of a sudden he able to get bail, you put up the bail. So I was a little confused by that a little bit. Like which one is it?
I know you playing DeMarcus, Be Your Music Better Than Famous. We ain't heard but one song.
I was gonna say when he
performed at Cafe Vu. That's it. Famous got records. He ain't got nothing.
I'm about to say when he
ain't got a single right now. He ain't got an EP or nothing. You've been locked up all this time. You should have had work already. You should have came out with rhymes. Well, you need to be in the studio dropping some lyrics on a beat. Because you ain't doing nothing but being a degenerate and a delinquent and just being a burden on everybody. And then, like I say, he act like everybody owe him this.
Yep.
Like they're trying to work with you. They're trying to invest in you, but you ain't giving them nothing but grief. I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna last. He's a bum. There's no other way to describe it. He's a bum. And and you know what? I'm gonna tell you this too. When he rob old boy, Lou gonna get mixed up in this some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, and he gonna drag Lou right back down. Lou trying to do something good for himself and trying to work with an artist. Man, this man ain't gonna do nothing but be a problem for you.
Yep. Ain't gonna pull Lou right back into the life, and Lou gonna have to clean it all up or
Clean
cover it up somehow.
Yep. Raq trying to figure out what's going on. She don't call Andre, and it dawned on me in this moment right here. When you talking about who found the couple, ain't nobody found Andre here. Andre gonna be over there for a while, rotting for a while before somebody go over there and find him. Raq don't know that he's not here no more. Raq calls and leaves a message on the phone for Andre, like, yo, what you hearing about what happened at my restaurant? And she shook, but she still can't be bothered right now. She can't be bothered right now because, like I said, she got too much on her right now. She can't be bothered, but she trying to figure out what's going on. And when she realized that Andre not here no more, that really gonna take her down because Unique is hitting her from all points.
Mm-hmm.
She get a letter from the Queens Arts and Science High School. Kanan ain't been to school all year.
Yep. We was close in our predictions. We did predict this, but we was close. We was wrong with where she was at, but we knew it had something to do. We knew something was going on at Kanan school.
We knew something was going on up at that school.
Yeah,
yep.
We knew there was something going on.
Excessive student absences. And I'm just thinking about it, they just showed him at the school working on the report. So I guess he ain't been back since.
I guess not.
Report again.
I guess not. And at this point, if he ain't been, I'm surprised like they haven't come because that's part of his probation. I'm surprised nobody rolled up and like, yo, yeah, it's time for you to go.
Hey, you know what? That's another thing too. Why B-Real ain't over there with his baby mom? Because he even talked about the baby mom and the kid when he was locked up. Even that girl have enough sense not to let his bum ass back over there. She had enough sense not to let him back over there. Juke is down here at the community college trying to sign up for some classes, whatever, because she's at a crossroads right now because she tried the music thing, that didn't work. She tried the military thing, that ain't work. It's kind of the next step in line for her is to go, let me see what the school thing talking about. But she signed up for some classes just to sign up for something. She ain't really taking it serious. She ain't really trying to be there seriously. She just want to get out the house and do something. The missions lady look at her like, baby, You looking at that catalog all you want to, and it ain't gonna change. I need you to put some on this paper so we can move on. She signed up for some nothing type classes too, the history of comic books, some ballet, Juke doing ballet. Yeah. Where Tim's on. Imagine that.
Can't see it.
Yo, Juke, run me that Carhartt jacket though. That jacket fire.
I saw that and I was like, nah, it makes sense why Juke so wild. I was like, she left-handed. So
yeah, she left-handed.
I was like, so that makes it everything. I was like, nah, that makes sense.
She run into the low life boys. She run into one Twin Low. She run into Twin Low. He happy to see her or whatever. He's like, yo, Whitney Houston. Yo, Juke, what's up? And he was like, shouldn't you be on tour with your group Booty? And she was like, butter. And he was like, look, he poloed down too. Like, all the polo on, yo. Let me get that. That jacket and that shirt. He poloed down and he basically was like, yo, won't you come to the club tonight? And the rest of the crew would love to see you, whatever. And she was like, I'm here doing some school thing or whatever. That music thing ain't work out for me, whatever. So she was being cordial with him, but she really wasn't really overly excited to see him or whatever.
Yeah. I think it was just like this was my past. Why I'm meeting up with you or whatnot. So we're currently Support Gaming, we're currently in 94, and I'll explain why we're in 94 once we get to a certain scene.
You are close though, Support Gaming. I'm thinking that we transitioned from 93 into 94, and we're gonna tell you why.
Yeah, we'll tell you why.
We'll tell you
why. 94.
But you're real close.
Real close.
Real close.
But go back one quick, real quick. I'm trying to figure out, okay, maybe y'all can explain in the comments as to what is behind her. That like, is she got a backpack under her? Like, why is her clothes? Yeah, like her clothes are so huge. With the exception of when she wore the Jordan sweatsuit, her clothes are huge the rest of the episode.
When we get to that scene, we're gonna tell you why.
Yeah, we'll tell you why. Support Gaming.
I'll give you a hint. Go ahead, Fresh.
Jordans. Yeah, trust me, bro. We're not in 93. Like, we're in 94 now, and we'll tell you exactly why.
Right here, I'm gonna give you a hint with this shoe right here. This shoe right here was released in the end of 1993.
It's ironic you did that, because that's actually what I wore today.
I knew it. I knew it. That's not what I have on today, though. What I have on today is...
There's another reason why I give you that. It's in 94.
Juke had her cement threes on. I put mine on too.
we'll get to why.
Was it the SWV song? Week, wasn't it released in 94? Microphone issues again.
Oh, there we go. So DeMarcus, I thought so too, that she was pregnant in real life, and she's not pregnant in real life.
Yeah, we thought that too, but we did
so.
Some research. We can't find where she's pregnant at, but I don't know why they got her in these oversized clothes. Like, she got a whole backpack on up under this jacket. I'm like, yo, and the jacket itself look huge on her.
Yeah,
why they dressing Juke like that?
I thought so as well. And if you go to her page, she recently just and she recently just did an interview, and you don't see anywhere on her page at all. So I thought she was as well, but the research that I've done shows that she was not pregnant. She was never pregnant. So I don't know, unless, like I said, maybe these are filmed, but she has a recent post on her Instagram page where she's doing a whole interview sitting on the couch for something that she did in Broadway, and she's not pregnant at all. So, I mean,
so Marvin pulled up to the nephew spot, and he busts in on the nephew, and the nephew tells him that, the nephew, he didn't know that the aunt and uncle had expired, and he also didn't know. He asked about the daughter. They had a daughter, and that was enough to convince Marvin that he wasn't involved. And he pretty much told him, well, obviously he's too old for school. He ain't going. He ain't going
Xavier.
to school.
Like I said, I'll explain it more when we get to a certain part why it's 94.
Marvin pretty much tell him that he need to go and check on the niece, his cousin, because she gonna need you right now. And the nephew, he all upset about it, whatever. But when it clicked in Marvin's head then that this little girl orphan, and I'm like, here you go, Marvin, with your heart
Mhm.
on your sleeves, whatever.
And then he realized that the nephew didn't do it. I get it, but at the same time, I was like, what would make you think that the nephew would do it out of all people?
Yeah.
Like, just because you caught him and they fired, like, that didn't even make any sense to me. I was like, yo, I'm like, think from a.
It's just process of elimination because nobody else know about their work over there. And and just the fact that he caught him stealing last week, that it was the most obvious, first place to look type thing. But then he realized even himself that okay, he ain't do it. So now I'm back to square one again. This prompts him to go see Early Tyler. Tyler and they're working on somebody's car, half-ass working on somebody's car, probably rigging up somebody's car so they come back and get some more work out of them. Marvin say, yo, what you know about this hit at the Chinese restaurant? I'm friends of the family or whatever. Tyler, I ain't heard nothing. I don't know nothing. And we also learned in this scene right here too that Early Tyler is kind of like the go-to guy in the hood. Everybody going to him for services, including Marvin. So it's just like Unique reached out to him. So we know that Early Tyler's name rings out in the hood.
Yeah.
And he kind of like the side hustle guy.
As well as work on everybody's cars, because that was the first thing he said to Marv when he was like, yo,
Lexus dripping oil.
Yeah, he was like, yo, what's going on with your car? Like, what you need now, etc. So
Marvin then asked him, do your aunt still work for ACS? Because I got a little girl that I need to try to see about. And he inquires about, I thought he was going to inquire about Sunningham's daughter, but he really was looking for Gerald's other daughter, Amber.
Yeah.
And he give Early Tyler a couple of dollars for his services. This scene right here, yo, I'm proud of Raq.
Yeah, I'm proud of Raq.
I'm real proud of Raq.
Cause I was like, yo, you can't be serious, shorty. Like, I get it. I might got beef with my mama, with my mother, but like, yo, you just can't first of all, this is not your crib. And then you opening the door and you just disrespecting her like y'all like. So I was proud of Raq because I thought for sure Raq was like, yeah, Raq about to lay hands on this little girl.
Hey, Courtney, you right. Early Tyler, it might not end well for playing both sides.
Yep.
And this was crazy too because like I feel like Unique pulled right after Marvin left type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Raq pulled up the Kanan spot. She trying to find Kanan to find out what's going on here with the school, and she asked Crystal where Kanan at, and she's like, I don't know, he ain't here. And then she was like, well, tell him I came by. And she's like, you asking me or you telling me?
I thought for sure she was like, I thought for sure. I thought for sure the B word was gonna fly
out. Coming in with a $5 super chat from DeMarcus. What do y'all think about Lamar Jackson being on Raising Kanan as E-Tone? I think Unique will have E-Tone smoke Early Tyler because of his betrayal. I think it's cool. We always get these cameo appearances in the Power universe. Maybe he'll stick around longer than Ty Dolla $ign did.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think he might be a one episode and out.
Yeah, he about to be in there for probably like maybe all better 2 or 3 minutes, and we ain't gonna see nothing of E-Tone no more.
It would be dope if they kept his character around a little bit, just like it would have been dope if they would have did a little bit more character development with Ty Dolla $ign too. But going by the character descriptions for the season, he's not mentioned in the character description. So I think that he's just probably going to be in for maybe an episode or 2.
Right, because like for her to just open up the door and be disrespectful like that, it's just like, nah.
But it goes back to what I was saying about she's inserting herself a little too much in their business with her. So Kanan been talking shit about his mama, so that gave her a invitation to be disrespectful to his mama too. And I'm like, no, that ain't how you go. You stay out of that business because that's how Ronnie got deleted. You don't get in between family business or whatever. Yeah. And Raq, she was like, Raq said, you stay here now? She was like, no, I don't stay here. And Raq looked around and said, well, the house cleaner than it normally is. And you just let my son know I came by. we'll be seeing each other. I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
little girl, you gonna be missing real soon.
Yep. Like when you see Raq do this, you know it's a problem. When you see Raq do that, you know it's a problem.
Yeah, Crystal's not gonna last. She tried to make herself too relevant and too useful. She's becoming a liability for Kanan, and he doesn't even know it.
I don't think Crystal be smoked. I think she gonna whatchamacallit. Okay. I'll let you go ahead and describe the scene, and then I'll whatchamacallit, explain why we are 94.
Yep. So Kanan and Juke meet up at the pizza spot, and Kanan is like, well, now that you back out of the military and everything, you're gonna go back to the music thing. She's like, nah, I've been there, done that. And she just really catching up with Kanan, and she uses this opportunity to ask Kanan about Famous. Now we're gonna have to spend a little time on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you break down why we in 94, and then I'm gonna come on back to this because we need to talk about this Famous situation for a second.
So for everybody that's saying it's still 93, it's actually 94. I'm explaining why. I don't know how big it is on y'all screen. Y'all might have to go back and watch this scene. But if you look at the shoes that are on Jukebox feet, they are the Jordan 3s, black cement. The first time they retroed was in 94. Before then, the first time they came out was 88. If you growing up, you already know you're not, especially during this time, you're not about to have a shoe from 88 on your feet. Then you're going to have the latest shoes, the latest sneakers, whatever it is. So she has on the Jordan 3 right here, black cement, which retroed in 94. So that's why we're in 94. So it's not 90, it's not 93, it's 94. Because it will be impossible for it to be 93. Matter of fact, those shoes that Retro is holding that we see Kanan wear at the end of the episode, those dropped late 93.
Like November 93, somewhere.
Yeah, they dropped late 93. Remember, all of Kanan's seasons are always like during the winter time. We've never seen them in the summer. They're always during the winter time. So I can't give you the exact date to my knowledge of when those Jordan 3s that Jukebox is wearing, but the first time they retroed was in 1994. So we're in 94 at this stage right now. So it could, we all know how Power does their timeline jumps. It could easily just be a timeline jump. Like, so that's how it's 94. And another thing for people who get confused with the timelines, always listen to the music as well. They give it away with the shoes and the music every time. That's how we always figure out the timeline for Power. That's how we. So the first season 1 was 92. Well, hold on. Yeah, it was 90, 91. Season 2, 91, 92. Season 3, 92, 93. And now season 4 is going to be 93, 94. So that's how we whatchamacallit. Why we never saw Juke's graduation, I don't know. They whatchamacallit, how they do that type of stuff. So
I was hoping that the letter had a date on it, but I'm pretty sure that we're late 93, early 94. And the reason why we say that is because in the scene with Aisha and Jukebox, they were playing SWV Week.
Yep.
And I think that was released in 94. If it wasn't released in 94, I think it was like the end of 93 somewhere. So we're somewhere in that timeline. We're somewhere in that timeline, late 93, early 90, because this seems to be the beginning of the year for them, because the letter had said that Kanan hasn't been back to school since the beginning of the school year. So we know that it's a new school year. So it's safe to say that we're probably in early 94. All right. So Juke asks Kanan about Famous, and we get a little bit more of a breakdown of what's going on with Famous. Kanan tells her that Famous got roped up because of the situation with Freddie. They said he been talking. They try to figure out what he don't said. Not really sure. Juke like Famous ain't no snitch. Yeah. He might have said some dumb-ish, but he probably ain't telling nothing or whatever. Yeah. I told y'all from day one, episode 1, Famous is gone. He's not here. He's not on the run. He's expired.
I'm still in
He gone.
That. That's just me. I know everybody thinks Famous is gone, but I know everybody think we're going to get it later on, but I mean, he possibly could be. I just don't see it. I kind of feel like he done went out California with his sister to hide or something.
I agree, DeMarcus. You saying the same thing. I got a DeMarcus theory too. So you say the same thing I just told the fellas all weekend. I'm like, I think Marvin has something to do with Famous being expired. And the reason why I feel that way is because when he picked Lou up from rehab, that was the first thing he told Lou about. And I'm like, wow, that of all things that, you know, you would be having a conversation with him about because they heard Famous song on the radio or whatever. And Marvin just kind of casually mentions that, yeah, Famous been talking. And you know how Marvin feel about snitches.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Marvin is involved. Feel like Raq could possibly be involved too, but we got to get a little further on down the line. But over here, we don't spoil it for you guys. You know, a lot of people see this is how y'all mess up stuff when stars release stuff. A lot of these content creators I hear take that stuff and they put it all out on the internet, and you get it all snatched up. It get your videos and stuff taken down. We've read the episode descriptions too. We have them too. Look at them every week. But we don't put it out there for everybody to see. We don't want to spoil the viewing experience for everyone. I'm just going to say, just by reading the episode descriptions for the remainder of the season, feels like Famous is gone. Now, they could be giving us a red herring because people use that to kind of foreshadow what's going to happen throughout the season. But I feel like just in those episode descriptions, when we get to episode 408, 409, 410, those are very telling episode descriptions. So I feel like Famous ain't here. Now you heard it here. We're gonna talk about it when it happened.
Yeah.
All right. So Lou is down to I guess this is what, a AA meeting or something like that.
I don't think it was an AA meeting. You know what? Now that you said that, it possibly could be, but no, because it was a family. It was, what was it? Welcome back. It was something family on the chalkboard that it said. So AA is Alcoholics Anonymous. So then maybe this is just rehab in general that he's going through, because it couldn't be AA. I mean, Kanan, 19 years old. Y'all got to remember, and this is something that stuck on my mind too. I was thinking that he was also still in high school, but this could also be like it was a performing arts school, right? That said on that letterhead, right? Retro. It was a performing arts school.
Yeah, it's a performing arts.
Because remember, what was that, season 2? He was taking college courses with
Symphony.
Yeah, with Symphony. So,
you know what? Y'all might be onto something with that about Unique putting Famous down, but I don't see the reason why he would. Could be. Could be. I'm not gonna say no. I need to see a little bit more, but I'm not gonna say no. But you know, Unique out here on his Ronnie-ish right now. So I mean, it's not far from the realm of possibility, but I just don't see the reason why he would need to put Famous down.
Exactly. I don't remember Marvin is because episode description.
Famous knows too much about the Thomas family in the organization, and if he started talking too much, he might tell too much. So I feel like that would be the reason why they put him down more than anything.
Hey, y'all talking about Ronnie? I for sure thought that was Kanan
right here
the entire time. Because of the
just
jacket.
like Ronnie. Just like Ronnie.
Like when we got the preview joints, I for sure thought it was Kanan because of the jacket. So that's in our predictions. That's what made us think it was school. It made us think it was school.
But I was glad to see that Raq showed up for him. And Lou has a story to tell. He has a testimony about his sobriety. So he's getting his coin. I think they give them like in 30-day increments or 60-day increments or something like that. And he's got his coin, and he's pretty much telling and sharing with the group about how he wanted to self-delete himself, and you know how hard the alcohol was on him and how his troubles was going down on him. That took something through Raq because she had not known that.
Yep.
And Raq, I think in that moment realized that, damn, I pushed my brother to almost end it himself. So
Yep.
that weighed heavy on her mind. And she even, when they looked at each other like that, it almost felt like Lou was kind of relieved that he was able to share that with her, but didn't really know how to tell that to her directly, but through the group.
Yeah.
And he begs her pardon and tells her how thankful he is that she showed up and what she's done for him, and he'll repay her. And she was like, all I need you to do is get your life together and take care of yourself. That's how you repay me. I said, okay, finally, she's being nice to her for a change.
Yeah. So
They talk about the dinner. At this point, we realize that Joyce has called all of them to come over for dinner. And they, make a little joke about the mama's bad cooking and how the food go kill them if they go over there.
yeah. So before you start on this, if y'all have not just add everything up. So y'all saw that how both of them, they connected. We see how, well, dang, I don't want to jump, but and then also where Kanan and Mama Joyce connected earlier. There's another scene which we'll get to, and I'll say it then before we get to the end, and then I'll explain the whole thing I got from this entire episode.
Okay, support game. I'm gonna let you have that because he is on the warpath right now. Anything that's connected to the Thomas family, just like he did with the lawyer. So you could be right.
I want to say something so bad, but I don't want to spoil it. So
nah, we're gonna hold on to it.
I want to say something so bad to just off that comment, but I don't want to spoil it.
We got a couple more episodes to go. We ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Juke show up at the club, and the low life boys, the polo boys, they all greet Juke and whatever, and they happy to see her. And they are literally sitting here trying to get her to go back to boosting, because that's what she used to do. She used to run with them. They used to boost. Yep. And they were talking about how business is so good for them right now. They out here boosting, and they doing their thing. And Juke like, been there, done that. I don't want to go back to nothing. I want to try something new, whatever. And she excused herself to go to the bathroom, and she peaced out. I was like, good for you, Juke.
Okay. I was going to ask you that, or ask y'all in the chat, because I was trying to figure out. I get it. She didn't want to go back to the life, but I felt like it was something else that was said or something she saw that made her just immediately like exit left. But
she realized that this ain't what she wanted to be. This ain't her group. This ain't her kind. This ain't her crew. She ran with them back in the day when she was boosting, but she quickly realized that, this old right here, this ain't what I'm feeling either. So she left there, and she walking by, and I want to be politically correct, so I don't want to be offensive, but I guess it's safe to call it a gay club that she went by. She was standing outside of a gay club, and we meet a new character. What is her name? Mar?
I forgot. She said it so fast.
Mara or something like that.
I think that's her name.
And the lady's like, when I first started coming here, I was just kind of hanging outside, never wanted to go in, too scared to go in, whatever. She's like, come on in. You want to go inside? Come on. You come in with me. And she invites her to come in, and she takes her in past security, whatever. And Jukebox instantly lights up like a Christmas tree. She gets in there and she looks around. She sees all the other women that are in there, and they're all enjoying themselves, having a good time. And she feels at home. She feels comfortable here. She feels comfortable being in her own skin and being able to be in an environment with others like her, where she can share. And just like, I'm trying to see what this is about. She seemed more comfortable here than she did at the club with the low life boys. That's why I felt like, she didn't feel like that. She the only girl in the crew too. Yeah. And she just felt like, this ain't where I want to be with a gang of dudes that's out here robbing and stealing. Like, this ain't what I want to do. So I haven't figured out who yet. It might be the Mar lady, but I feel like Juke gonna get involved with somebody at this club.
She definitely is. She gonna get involved with
somebody at this club.
It probably will be Mar. It probably will be. But she definitely will be. Or the character we haven't seen yet, but she definitely gonna get it to it. She definitely gonna get involved with somebody from this club.
She's gonna get involved with somebody up at this club. It's coming. It's percolating right now. I feel like Lou got to feed this dude too. Yeah, Lou, you got a son. Lou and Bumrilla is here having dinner. Bumrilla and Lou are having dinner, and they sitting there listening to the radio or whatever, and famous song comes on the radio, and he turns the radio off. And B-Rilla was like, is he gone? Now I asked you about this earlier today. You said that it was just because Lou's in his head about all this. He knows something not right, but he trying to make it. He trying to, just like how Famous was trying to do for Lou when the record executive first came around. He wanted to meet with Lou, and Lou was in rehab. I feel like Lou was trying to cover for Fame, not knowing what he's covering for.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Fame got a lot of feelings, and sometimes them feelings get scary or whatever. He's just, and be real, like he got a hot record out on this ain't the time to go into hiding or whatever.
Yeah.
So everybody keeps asking, is he gone? And to me, it felt like when he turned that radio off, it felt like he knew that Famous was gone.
Now that you said that, I didn't look at it from that perspective. I looked at it more so like he was mad that Famous wasn't around. Like, yo, this is how much stuff we worked hard on to get this, and now that we're here, you're MIA.
Yeah,
but like nobody knows where you're at. But I think, like how you were saying, as far as what he was telling B-Rilla, I feel like he was just doing that just to cover it up from what Marvin had told him, as far as like they heard Famous was out there talking, because he don't want to tell B-Rilla that, because it's gonna reflect on him, and it'll be like, yo, wait a minute, oh, Lou was hanging around with a snitch, and B-Rilla's supposed to be this hardcore from the street. You know what I'm saying? That whole edge would have been gone. So I think that's why. But I took it as he turned the radio off because, like, man, I'm supposed to. I did this. Or now that I'm thinking about it, it also could be he turned it off because that reminded him of the old him and what he was going through the time they made those records.
Especially that What's the 411 song, because then he talked about deleting Freddie in that song.
I believe he did. Oh, hold on. Or was it Streets Need a Body?
Streets Needs a Body was for
that was what's called. I think he did.
I know he talks about a strap and pulling the trigger on a strap in What's the 411. That's a good point, Dexter. Lou probably suspects that Famous is deleted and afraid to admit it, or afraid to come to reality of terms with it. That's the vibe I get too. All right, so Early Tyler back up in his office or whatever, and Ronnie Unique come in and put a stack of money down for him or whatever. And Tyler look at him like, where you get this money from? He's like, you had something to do with that Chinese restaurant? He's like, listen, you've been sweating me about this money ever since you picked me up. Do you want it or not?
Right.
And he took it. He was like, yo, Unique, you playing with fire. And Unique like, I am the fire, and I'm gonna burn everything down.
Yeah, it kills me how Early was the one who put the battery in this man back, and now all of a sudden it's turning to
you trying to
de-escalate.
You trying to de-escalate the situation because you see it's getting out of control.
Yeah, you trying to escalate. I mean, you're trying to de-escalate everything now. Like, bro, you the one to put it in his back. He would have never even did half of the stuff he did if you never would have put the battery in his back. This is the second episode we seen of you trying to well, you know what? Maybe Unique. Maybe you going a little bit too
late for that.
It's too late, bro.
Too late.
Like, you put it in his back.
Like, it's a shame, Early Tyler. You ain't gonna get to enjoy that money.
Yeah, you sure ain't. I definitely
enjoy that money.
Yeah, I don't think he gonna enjoy that at all.
Oh, Marvin and his decisions. I'm sick about this too, because Marvin is one of my favorite characters on the show, and I just feel like his time is limited with us. His time is winding down, and it's like he tying up loose ends. He go to see Amber at the school. Uncle Marvin. And the school teacher gives her a little envelope and said, this is my number in it. If you ever need anything, call me. Here's some money. It's just for you. The lady come up and say, everything okay?
Right.
And she's like, that's my goddaughter. And he's like, he should have been honest with her. I was friends with her father, and I know that she ain't got no family right now. I was coming by to see about her. Whatever. But like, Marvin, you got an own daughter you have to look after. Don't be out here chasing waterfalls.
I mean, I think it
please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you use.
So this scene, so y'all remember this scene here, Raq and Lou, the one with Mama Joyce and Kana early on. They all tie in together. But I'm like, y'all, I was wondering, I was like, yo, how you just roll up to the school like this? Ain't nobody stop him. Like, yo, who you? Like, until she come over, till the teacher come over, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm a godfather. But I was also trying to figure out, I was like, yo, why would you give her? I'm like, what, this girl maybe what 8, and you give her a letter, an envelope full of money, and say this is all for you? She ain't gonna know what to do with that.
And I feel like her foster family gonna find it and take it from her.
Yeah, like she ain't gonna know what to do with that. Man, they could have erased all of these things together for the.
I agree. We didn't need them. All we needed was the end result. All we needed was the end result. So they show up to the first apartment. Kanan didn't like the first apartment, and he was like, "This ain't much better than where I'm staying at now," and whatever. And then we get to the second apartment, and leasing agent kind of was a little bit. It's unclear whether or not he was being racist towards them, or if he was just, hesitant about dealing with them because they're underage. I mean, at the end of the day, they are underage. They not old enough to be leasing no apartment.
Yeah, they ain't got no check stubs, nothing.
Yeah, so it's unclear whether or not his reaction was because they were black or because they were just teenagers and he knew they up to no good.
Yep.
So either way, they picked up on the vibe that he didn't want to rent to them or whatever. Kane was like, "Is it because I'm black?" And they was like, I could afford better than this anyway. And I'm just like, you just let this girl gas you up. But she is right about you having to stay somewhere else and not trapping out of that spot, whatever. Yeah. So they end up finding a spot that they like. And Crystal is negotiating the deal. Like, it's her money to spend. She's like, well, we'll give you extra for not to have to fill out this paperwork. So, yeah, this is going to be, she think that they're going to be happily ever after in this new apartment. It ain't going to work like that for them.
And now that you just said that, I'm wondering if he just looked at them and knew, like, yo, y'all in the streets.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I ain't putting that element up in my spot.
Yeah, I don't want that kind of trouble around here.
Yeah.
That's the way I took it. I didn't take it as if he was discriminating because they were white. I mean, they were black.
Yeah, I didn't take it that way.
It could be, but at the end of the day, I think he was like, oh no, y'all out in these streets and y'all underage, and like, no, I don't want this element around here. Raq at the Chinese restaurant, she's trying to get an update from her security detail on, how everything being around the spot. And they was like, everything cool, everything quiet, just fiends coming in. And Quan roll up on her. She's like, I got this. Quan roll up on her, all disrespectful or whatever. Not really disrespectful, but he always make these little snarky remarks towards her. And I'm like, bruh, you just asking for it. Your bullet and your motorcycle. You just asking for it, yo. It's not gonna be much longer before you are deleted.
Yeah. So
y'all keep playing with Raq if y'all want to.
Playing with Raq. So we was wrong with this prediction. We thought it, she was gonna take over the whole whatchamacallit, but of course it's with the the unaliving of Quan's family, and like he just ready to go out and just drop a body.
Xavier, you talking about the courier dude that he stole the couriers from? I thought Ronnie took care of him. Ronnie went over there and beat the man up. Remember, Ronnie went over there and beat the man up and he used the bathroom on himself?
Yep.
I think Ronnie took care of that.
Yeah.
Coming in with a $2 super chat, DeMarcus says, who's more dangerous, Quan or Noma?
Noma.
I agree.
Shoot, the first introduction we got a Noma that lets you know right then and there.
When she removes somebody's hand.
Yeah, like that's not even a question.
Yeah, Cubs. So I say Noma.
We ain't seen Quan put no work in the street.
Quan ain't done no work.
He ain't put in no work out there in the street. We ain't seen nothing from Quan.
That's his name, Dexter, right? Paul was his name, the guy that ran the couriers. Yeah, I think Ronnie took care of him.
Oh, support. I know all about the Yakuza and the Triads, but that's over Japan and all that stuff over there. Like, we're not saying they're not dangerous, but we ain't seen Quan put in no work. Like, we talking about over here in the state.
He ain't but a gambler.
Yeah, he just got an underground gambling casino and just moved some work. Hey, bro.
Right.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Marvin out here in these streets trying to give Rock an update on what's going on. And Rock, like, look, she tired of this whole situation with Quan and them or whatever. She trying to figure out a way to get from up under this right now, but she don't know how she gonna get up under this. More importantly, she don't know who hitting her spot right now. So she like, let's roll up on Joaquin and see if Joaquin can give us some work. Because she's trying to figure out a way to get from up under Quan because he already went up on her 20% and he talking to her crazy or whatever. Joaquin tells her that, listen, you know, I ain't moving no H stuff out here in Queens, but you can go see your boy Tremont. You know, he got a connect. He doing some work out in DC. He trying to get into New York territory, and I feel like he just planted a battery in their back.
Yep.
And I wonder if that was a strategic battery, because why not eliminate the competition? Go ahead, let them take each other out or whatever. So we already know that this was a seed that was planted right there. So they're gonna roll up on Tremont next episode and delete him or whatever, because they're gonna think that he was the one that hit their spot, especially because she owed him a solid for how he did her last season or whatever. So it automatically clicked in her head. She still try to be hopeful that she can get some work out of him, but he ain't going.
Yeah. Shout out to DeMarcus, because you were on point with this theory right here. You've been saying, I want to say for like episode 1 that Rock was gonna go back to Joaquin. I ain't thinking at all. I was like, I can't even see why she would. But you was on point, bro. You really called that. I didn't think that Joaquin was saying that so that they could take him out. Like, like Cubs are saying, like, Joaquin been loyal. Like, bro, he let Rock take out his own cousin. So I
like how Rock do business though.
Yeah, I think it was just more so like, hey, I'm just letting you know, like, your homie into that stuff, so y'all need to go holler at him, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do that. So, what's it, DeMarcus? Nah, he said he don't. If I remember correctly, he said he don't deal with H. So that's why he told them to go holler at Tremont.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they find out episode 5. If they don't find out next week, it's next episode 5. Because I mean, we need something heavy for episode 5. So I think that's where in Portland. I think that's when they're gonna find out episode 5. Well, he chose Rock over Juliana because he himself tried to tell Juliana, stupid ass, that, you know, you out of your league.
Right.
When she was sitting up there up at the restaurant trying to act all high post.
Yep.
And Sadiddy, he tried to tell her, like, she out here in these streets. You not. Like, leave her alone. Like,
you using me as your cover so that nobody won't hit you. Because they know if they hit you, they got to deal with me. But, like, so...
But I wasn't surprised at all. I wasn't even gonna go down the petty train on that. But yeah, at this point, everybody should know Unique is alive. He walk around in plain sight
all day long.
All day long.
All day long. I don't know how.
And he's in his neighborhood, so everybody should recognize him just because of the fact that he's in the neighborhood.
Like, that's the part I haven't figured out. Like, yeah, I got it. He got the scar, but like, bro, y'all know Unique. I get it. He might got a hoodie on, but it's broad daylight outside. Ain't too much you gonna be hiding under a hoodie like that. Like, somebody at some point has to realize, oh, yo, Unique. Oh man, Unique's still alive.
His face is not as scarred as it was at the beginning of episode 1. His face is kind of healed up a little bit more. So he pulls up to his baby mom's mother house, and he see Pernessa is putting Jerome down for the night, and you know he still got love for his family, whatever. And he take the rest of some money that he had got up out of Rock stash, and he put in the envelope and put in the mailbox. I thought he was gonna ring the doorbell or something like that, just so he could see her come out and get it. But he didn't. He put the money in the mailbox and he went on about his business. All right, so this is the scene you talking about right here earlier. So this is when Unique do that good old push you in the door robbery.
Which I'm still trying to figure out, this little ass hallway. Where the hell was he at? Where was he hiding at that OC didn't see him?
Yeah,
I was trying to figure that out because immediately as soon as OC opened that door, he pushed him down. So I was like, yo, where was he hiding at?
Cubstar said, poor little man. This poor little guy. Got thrown to the floor immediately.
So
A weapon brandished at him. But what do you think he's here for? Because I thought he was just coming there to rob them too.
you know what? Now that I'm thinking I'm wondering if he is going to try to get OC to flip.
That's what I'm. There you go. That's what I'm
It's like,
thinking.
hey, I won't unalive you. You work for me. You just throw me stuff. And you let me know Kanan and Raq's organization, what's going on in them. Because immediately, like, he would have just took him out. So it's got to be something under the line where he's not taking OC out. It could come out. Maybe OC used to work for Unique. I don't know. But
Could be.
it's something along the line. It's a reason why he's not taking him out.
Do you think he's gonna take him, like kidnap him? I like your theory though. I like your theory that he's gonna use OC as an inside man.
Yeah.
But I want to spin the block real quick back on the whole famous thing in the weapon. Wouldn't that weapon that he got from Palomar, right? So wouldn't the weapon have came back to Palomar instead of him?
Nah, not a problem.
Oh, because his mom turned the weapon in. His mom turned the weapon in, and they ran the ballistics on it and said that was a weapon that deleted Freddy. Okay.
Not only that
weapon from Palomar though.
But not only that Palomar, that strap she had probably wasn't legal.
True.
So,
of course
so it wouldn't have.
Of course it wasn't.
That joint probably wasn't even legal. So it was like, yeah, that's probably the whole thing. But yeah, it's something. But I think that's what I'm thinking. It's more so he's going to have or maybe even make OC work for him to give him inside information on Kanan's and like Raq's
operation.
Oh no, yeah, their whole operation. Like, because which we saw in the trailers for season 4. I think didn't we speak about it last week? Where one of the dudes that's working for Kanan that we saw
work for
Unique.
Yep.
So somewhere along those lines, I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah. Do you think that Kanan's going to end up working for Unique or working with Unique like he did with Ronnie?
Nope. I can't see it. If
anybody that's against his mama, right? My mother. Anybody against my mother right now is a friend of mine. A friend of mine is a friend. An enemy of mine is a friend of mine. Type situation. So Kanan is down for anything that go against his mama, but he would be a fool to link up with Unique.
If they did that, then there will be no point of them taking out Ronnie. At that point, you might as well just kept Ronnie.
That's why I feel like we're going down the same path again. I just feel it. All right, so they over at Grandma's house, and Juke tells Grandma she look good. She said nothing but a little powder and paint can't fix. And Juke look at everybody like, okay, he don't look right. What's wrong? Something going on.
It was crazy when she said it, because in my mind I was like, bro, y'all don't look at y'all mama and can't tell something wrong with her.
Yeah,
and she said it.
She said it. She said it right here. And even Marvin tried to go in there and like, okay, Mom, what you got us down here for? And she was like, I'm just gonna wait for everybody to get here or whatever. So they know something going on with Mama, but they can't figure out what it is. And so yeah, she looked bad right here. I feel like she was took some medicine or something, because when she was standing over the kitchen sink, she drank a glass of water. I feel like she was taking some of her medicine then.
And she was trying to hide it too.
She was trying to hide it. Raq is outside. She didn't want to go in and be no parts of this until everybody here, because Raq know that we down here on some bullshit. Raq. But you notice one thing I've noticed too. When they have Raq smoking, she's stressed. And she got a lot on her right now. Every time you see her light one of them cigarettes, she's stressed. She's stressed out. So Kanan pull up, and she tries to he reasoned with him about, yo, this is not what I wanted for you. I want you to go to school. I want you to have a better life for yourself. Like, we found out that Raq didn't even graduate school. And he was like, all this stuff you don't have me do and got me doing, and you think I'm gonna go to school and be normal? Yeah, but she's still trying to be a mother. At this point, she has not given up on him. It reminds me much of how Ghost was with Tariq. Tasha had accepted Tariq for what he was and just let him run amok. Raq is still trying to keep her hand on Kanan and get him to realize that you don't have to do this.
At all.
Like this is not what I want for you. But Kanan just can't see past his own feelings. So a dinner table in the Power universe is not as bad as the Tejada family. Someone asked that last week. Did we think that the Thomas family was more toxic than the Tejadas? No, this was a normal dinner almost compared to the Tejada.
This was definitely a dinner. So before you go further, real quick. So this here, as we go on, as I was speaking about earlier, this is how, if anybody really watched the episode, remember how I said like how Marv had his there we go. Marv had his own little whatchamacallit. Raq and Lou had their joint. Kanan and Mama Joyce had their joint. If you look, even with Juke at one point, the whole episode had to do with vulnerability. Because all of them, we saw all of them being vulnerable this entire episode. Like all of them. And then it didn't click for me until this dinner table that like, yo, all of them being vulnerable, we got to see each of them have feelings. Like they let their feelings show towards one another or just towards in general throughout this episode, which we've never seen before. So that's when it hit me during this dinner joint that's what this whole joint was about, was the vulnerability of the whole Thomas family. Like they showed their feelings.
That's a good point. So she started working the table. Mama Joyce, she started working the table. She started with Lou. And she told Lou, how's your bar doing? She asked Lou, how's your bar doing? And he was like, you know what? I ain't trying to be down on no alcohol right now. And then she tells him that, he won't put more on you than you can bear. And if so, he's going to lead you to a solution to that problem. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. Then she started with Juke. Juke, now that you're back home from the military, what you trying to do? And Juke was like, well, I'm just trying. I'm trying to find myself right now. And she was like, don't try, do. And then Marvin jump in and want to be a father. Yo, she just got back. Leave her alone. I'm like, but she's trying to have her last moment with her family, because after she dropped this bombshell on them, she know that they ain't gonna have no more family moments like this. So she was trying to get everything off of her chest with her family. And she got the Raq. Raq's in there looking at her. She looking at Raq. Raq looking at her. And I feel like Raq's place at the table was probably where her father would be sitting at. Mm-hmm. And even though Raq is not the oldest, I think she's the one that suffered the most at her mother's hand. Yeah. This scene right here told me everything that explains why Raq is the way she is. Now, y'all don't come for me. Yep. These are my opinions. These are my opinions. But I feel like Raq's mama may have let Raq be touched. May have had Raq out here in these streets being touched. Raq's disdain towards her mother, it's beyond, everyone else got, the venom between Raq and her mama. It's personal. Mm-hmm. It's, you personally done this to me. I feel like Raq's mama may have had something to do with her linking up with Howard. Maybe.
Could be.
I feel like Raq's mama may have tried to pimp her out, to take in money. I feel like that first abortion that Raq may have had something to do with the fact that her mom had her out here in these streets. I truly feel like that's what's the big hurt between the two of them. There's a secret here that hasn't been revealed yet. And Raq's reaction right here, she's the one who took it the worst. And she looked over there and saw that Kanan knew about it. And she went off on Kanan too, because again, you know about this, so you colluding with her. And it just, Raq's hurt for her mama is more than the rest of the family have for her. It's strong. And I feel like that mama has done her the worst out of everybody. No mic.
Don't worry, y'all. Next joint, I'm gonna make sure this joint is working copacetic. But I feel like remember how I told you, I feel like it had something to do with abuse because of what Raq said to her. Like, yo, you growing up, you took us through all of this stuff, did all of this, and this is how. So I felt like, yeah, it had something to do with like abuse. Like, I guess after, their father was gone, like she just abused him or something of that nature.
Okay, let's get into some of these comments. Marcus says, I think Howard was Rock's first. Joyce probably told Rock that Howard was a cop, but Rock didn't listen. But then how did I don't know about that, because then why didn't the second one be the same thing if it was with Howard?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have Kanan.
Yeah, we wouldn't have Kanan.
It was probably High Post.
Cubstar, you ain't gonna leave Juke alone about that job. She basically said, Juke, go get a job. That's a good point. I'm sure she probably does. Or if she doesn't know, she's suspected.
I was about to say, normally growing up back then,
you ain't lying about that. No. In the Power Universe dinner scenes, all that good food go to waste. Both women sat at the end of the table. I do believe Rock was a little fast, but I don't think that she was fast on her own. I think her mama had her out here fast. Joyce and Rock equals Raq and Kanan. Very good point, Cubstar, because that's exactly what we see here. And going back to Joyce trying to even take up for Rock earlier in the episode with Kanan, like, that's your mama. Okay, support gaming, facts. Rock and Joyce probably had a relationship similar to Monet and Diana. You know, Power has the parallels. Both Tejadas and Thomases are crime families. And you know what? There's always a parent in the Power universe that one of the children just cannot stand, and there's always a problem with it. So we need to learn, and I think we're going to learn before Mama Joyce leaves, what Rock's beef is with her.
Yeah, we definitely going to find out somehow, some way.
First season, Joyce told Rock that nothing she did could ever change who Rock was. I wonder what she meant by that. Yeah, there's secrets there.
Yeah.
And you know what? There you go. Probably somebody up at that church. I just feel like Rock has those scars of a woman who was touched before she was ready to be touched. She has those scars.
I forgot all about that. That's right. Because matter of fact, yeah, because wasn't that the first time we saw Mama Joyce? She was at church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they even made Rock even made a comment about how now all of a sudden she found the Lord, she's saved, but you know, she evil. And you know, Rock got a lot of venom towards her mama. She got a lot of venom towards her mama. And I think it's got more to do with the fact that her and her daddy didn't get along. I think it's after when that daddy left, Rock's mom became a single mom. And she probably had all her kids up to no good. And you know, just like how Monet was trying to pimp out Diana, not in a physical sense.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, she was using Diana to
stay on top of Tariq and do all that,
to scheme and finesse. So I think Mama Joyce did the same thing with Rock, but I think it's a little bit more on a physical side. That you know, we need to get this money, we need to pay these bills, you need to go out here and do what you need to do. So that's the way I feel about the situation. Marvin tried to process everything that's going on at the dinner table, or whatever. He got questions and things too. And then going back to Marvin's comment about I had to raise Rock and Lou, he still doesn't speak for where the mama was. You know, after the father left and passed on, what became of Rock's mom? Like, was she out here in the streets? Was she on drugs? Like, what was it?
Yeah, I was about to say maybe she left or something.
But Rock's reaction to the whole situation tells me that there's a conversation that the two of them need to have and probably are going to have. Before that she pass on, I think her and Rock gonna find a way to make peace.
I don't know if they're gonna make peace, but we're gonna get what the hell happened. That's for sure.
Yep. Well, all right, so let's get into next week's episode. What we got here first?
I've been trying to figure this out. She's in a restaurant, but I don't. At first, I thought when I first saw it, because it go by so quick on the I thought she was at Snaps and Pops, but I was like, that's not there where they work out of. So I'm thinking, man, I don't know. She trying to get another connect. I don't know what's going on with this one right here.
I thought she was back at one of her Chinese restaurants, and she see that her work ain't going nowhere. It ain't doing well. Or she could be once again. I don't know if this is Joaquin Place too. I don't think this is Joaquin Place too. At first, I thought it was a fish shop, but it ain't the fish shop either. So I can't figure out where she at here.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
But judging by the way she's dressed like she's getting ready to go do business.
Yep. She was dressed up like a boss. I wanted to put the emphasis on because I couldn't figure out like, yo, is this somebody that's like, is this? I just is it because like I said, the way they splice up the trailers, it always gets us. But it was just like this was literally right after her, so I'm like, yo, like who do like is this one of our King's people? Is this somebody that's
Quan people.
I was thinking that too. Like Quan got them following around.
Hey, Cortland says we'll probably see a different Raq after finding out about her mom. Yeah, we definitely going to see her a little bit more colder. And it's hard to fathom that because she's always cold. But I think we are going to see. This is that same restaurant.
It's the
same restaurant. Or is this where they're going to meet up with Tremont at?
That could be. But at the same time, I didn't think they were going to go meet up with Tremont. I thought they were just going to roll up on him, sneak attack him.
I think they met with him first, try to see what he got, see what kind of work he got, see what kind of connect he got, and then I think later on they're gonna spin the block and scoop him up and delete him to get his work or get his connect or something to that effect. I see that as this is a recon mission right here. They meet with Tremont to see what he's talking about and see what he got that they can take.
Shoot, I thought it was more so they were just gonna get rid of Tremont because of everything he did to them last season.
Well, if anything, I think this is a torture session to try to get him to admit whether or not he was the one that hit her spot. Yeah. But he's not gonna know nothing about it, and they're going to end up deleting him anyway. But I still think they're gonna take whatever he got. They're gonna take whatever he got. Raq, I feel like Raq is. I think we're gonna see Raq processing a little bit more about finding out about her mama. You know,
I thought that scene right there was the same joint. I thought she was with Marv.
Or she might be because she might be, asking him questions.
Yeah. Yeah, support game, and I saw that, and I don't believe that at all. Like the dude don't even. Yeah, I saw that rumor as well. It don't even make sense.
The reason why I think that we don't get Breeze this season, I think we're going to get Breeze next season.
Yep.
The reason why I think that we don't get Breeze this season is because right now Kanan is working for his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right now he's working with Snap and Pop.
Yep.
Breeze was a mentor for him too. All these mentors working at Kanan at the same time don't fit. And we're not going to get Breeze until we're ready to get Ghost and Tommy because they also have a relationship with Breeze too. So I feel like Breeze is not someone that we know already or have met already. It just wouldn't make sense for Breeze to be someone that we've already met and know. Because all these other people have been influences on Kanan. I think we're going to spend the last part of this series before it gets canceled with developing the Breeze storyline before we roll into Power Origins. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't fit functional.
I see. We don't see probably maybe even a mention of Breeze to like episode 10, if that, of this season. But I definitely think he ain't popping up to like next season for sure.
How do we think things are going to end? Is this unique?
Yeah, that's unique.
Deleting somebody else? This might be where early Tyler leave here.
For sure.
He might leave here. When I saw the Cadillac converters, I know he back at early Tyler's spot, but or either he trying to press Tyler out for some more information about Raq work or business.
Or early Tyler trying to do his usual and trying to de-escalate everything, which ain't doing nothing but fueling him more to do what he got to do.
How do you think things end with Unique? I would be kind of irritated if they delete him at the end of this season. What was the purpose of bringing him back?
That's true.
How do you think things ultimately end for Unique?
I see. I'm torn between that only because it's like, okay, if they don't delete him, it's like they can't make him be Raq's arch enemy again because we already got that in season 1, so it will be going backward. So I'm torn as to what it's going to lead up to. Like that's why I'm confused. That's why I'm hope they show a little bit more as the season progresses on Unique and everything, because I'm like, you unalive him. It was pointless to bring him back just to unalive him, quote unquote unalive him again. But then I'm like, if you keep him alive, you about to make him Raq's op again that we already got in season 1, like that's pointless. Like, so what? Like, what's the?
I think him and Raq are going to ultimately end up repairing. I think Raq is going to be the one that actually pulls him out of his fractured head. I think once ever they get there face to face and he realizes that Raq wasn't really the one that was responsible for what happened to him, because nobody has told him otherwise at this point. So I think he's going to have to hear from Raq himself when he attempts to try to delete her. And she tells him, maybe he even gets some confirmation from Pernessa about how wild Ronnie was out here. Yeah. But going back to the whole Breeze situation, another thing too, Breeze is such a pivotal character right now. It would not be right to introduce him right now because you got so many other characters that we have met yet for this season. And we're almost at episode 5 right now. It wouldn't be the right time to bring Breeze in. They're going to do him like how they did Mecca. They're just going to drop him in at the beginning of the season. And we're going to have to spend the whole season with Breeze. If we were going to meet Breeze this season, he would already been introduced. Maybe not to the main characters, but at least introduced to the audience. And we've got so many other characters that we haven't met yet that we still got to have a storyline for. It's just not the right time to bring Breeze in.
This scene here, I was trying to figure out
on Raq.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was the feds because I'm like, yo, because for one, she got the ponytail on, and she got that jacket that she had on in the earlier scene that we saw. But I was like, I couldn't see why she would be meeting with the feds. I'm wondering if that's possibly, what's the new, maybe the New Jersey crime boss that we get this season.
Oh, but you know what? I think that, call me crazy. Oh boy, the male when Marvin took out what was his name at the church?
Oh, dang, it's right at the tip of my tongue. I know exactly what you're talking about. Dang, what was his? Oh, man, I can't even think of his name. The boss, the Jersey boss.
Yep.
There you go, Sal Bozzelli.
Okay. Teresa Bozzelli. She's in the characters. She's listed out as one of the characters for this season, and her character description reads: the widowed wife from a former New Jersey mob boss, Sal Bozzelli, and the mother of their murdered son, Marco. Teresa is far from a pushover and quick not to forgive. So is it possible that she becomes the new crime boss?
No, I don't think she, because if that's the case, it doesn't make sense for the Phil Russo character.
It doesn't, but it doesn't make sense why they would bring her back. Why do we need her?
Maybe Raq is going to try to that's who she going to try to connect with, since they both women in the game, and like, hey, we can make this partnership work, and you'll be the new connect for me to move product, get product from or something.
There's something here, and when it says Teresa is far from a pushover and not quick to forgive, that tells me right there she's going to be a problem for the family, particularly with Raq. So we'll see.
Maybe she
read her character description, like, why is she even here?
Maybe she automatically think that it was since she knew, but I get. Hopefully, we'll see a backstory, because I don't ever remember at any time Sal telling his wife the business of what was going on. Because remember when that FBI agent showed up and it was just him and Sal, he was trying to tell Sal like, yo, it was a hit. Like, he never really, and I know that's something that they did in the mafia, like they never told the wives like what was going on in the business. So I'm curious, is that to what would she know?
To Cortland's point, we did hear from the lawyer last episode before he got deleted that they gave Raq a get out of jail free card for her to roll on Stefano. So maybe they meeting with her to press her out about Stefano.
I can't. Yeah,
that's a good point.
I just can't see Raq snitching. So
she ain't gonna snitch.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that this probably what this is about. Yeah. So Snaps is meeting with Kanan again, and I think that he gonna give Kanan some bad advice.
Yep.
He gonna give Kanan some bad advice because it don't take much to get Kanan battery charged.
Yep.
So
because I remember, because in the same scene, Pops, they tell him, Kanan, like he gotta make a name for himself.
Okay, Support Gaming says Sal's wife is getting smoked in one episode, but why?
Yeah,
I guess why are they bringing the character back? We don't need her unless she's part of the story. Yeah, Snap and Pops. I wonder how things end for them too. I wonder how things are going to end for Snap and Pop. They are, they're still around, and I don't know what we're going to get out of them. What do you think they're telling her to do? Because in the last episode, when they complaining to Kanan about how he treat his mama?
yeah, but I think it was also, like I said, in the same, as quick as it was, they literally told Kanan, "Yo, you got to make a name for yourself." So I think they probably ran game because Raq was there, and like Kanan still don't know the game, so he was like, "Yo, yeah, you need to listen to her because you about to get yourself hurt." But at that same time, I'm thinking like, "Yo," they're thinking like, "Yo, he young, so we can easily influence
Manipulate
him."
Yeah.
Yeah, we can easily influence him and keep continuing to get money out of him, because I'm pretty sure Kanan done behind gonna go right back to them and try to get more product, especially since especially he still got to give them a cut. So I think they just gonna try to be like, yo, we can brainwash this little idiot right here and have him do whatever we want him to do while we stay back in the cut and keep our hands clean.
Or is he up here trying to get some more work because Raq work drying up, and that's where he's getting his work from Raq right now. Raq work drying up. He probably out here trying to get some more work out of Snap and Pop, and they probably point him in the direction of Stefano and say that's where your mama getting her work from. Go see him.
Oh,
that's right. He got that you right look on his face. So I'm just wondering if they putting a battery in his back.
I forgot all about that. That's right. We saw it in the season 4 trailer that he actually do end up meeting with Stefano. That's right.
Because he'd be too stupid to try to double dip from them. But I think what he is Raq work dried up right now. She out here trying to find her way to get some more work. So I think he gonna go try to get his work from Stefano himself. And Stefano, I ain't fooling with you. All right, y'all. As always, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's it this week. Overall, pretty good episode. I think it's just a lot more character development than we probably would like. But I think things are going to start to heat up for us for the remainder of the season. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
As thoughts fresh.
I was just going to piggyback on what you said. We know how power go. Like we seen it with book 2. We seen it with Force. And kind of we get that out of the gate, episode, and then it kind of slows up. But then by the time we get to episode 5, everything start getting off the chain. So it's about to be wild for a minute. We about to see some stuff left and right. So, but like I said, overall, like I don't see why people keep saying this joint is boring. I'm like, these are all questions that we've been talking about with these shows. It's like, where's the backstory? So now that we get,
you got to give us answers, right?
Yeah, you got to give us answers. So we're getting our answers now. Like, I see people say it's boring. I don't see it. Like, it's just like, bro, this is we're getting to it. Trust me, it's coming. And when it come, everybody gonna be had the shocked face. Like, never saw that coming. So, But yeah, like you said, I think episode 4 is probably by the end of episode 4 is when it's going to start to ramp up.
Yeah, I think it's going to wrap up. All right, guys. Well, we'll continue these conversations down in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all drop y'all thoughts. Be on the lookout for our prediction video tomorrow. And we will see you guys next week.